What's up, guys? It's Dave with Marathon Aquatics. So today I want to talk about brown jelly disease. Knock on wood. I'm gonna knock on some wood real quick because I don't even like to say that name around my corals, because anybody that's gone through it knows that stuff is nasty. We'll wipe out a whole LPS tank in a matter of overnight, couple days, gone. So really, I battled it a little bit, probably like 6 or 8 months ago. And basically what happens is brown jelly disease is basically a bacterial infection. It is a bacterial infection. And that could come from you're fragging something, you nip the polyp, you cut that flesh a little bit, bacteria gets in there, starts a disease. It's just like if a human gets a bacterial infection. The only thing with this is once it starts, it looks like a brown sludge. Like you'll see the whole polyp start to kind of disintegrate. It looks like this brown sludge is all over it. Do not let that fly in your tank. If that lands on any of the other LPS, toast. Now I have noticed it's interesting because I was racking my brain. I lost like 4 colonies of hammer. I lost a bunch of stuff. So I was really trying to figure out what was going on. Well, for starters, my alkalinity was low. It was like 6. I was waiting on some test kits. I got them in finally. Got that fixed. But it was weird because in my frag tank, I would get brown jelly. And then I would take them and put them in my coral quarantine. And the brown jelly would literally disappear. And the coral would bounce back. So what's crazy is I got to the point where I was like, I'm curious about this. So I took one of the corals that had brown jelly, didn't suck the jelly off or anything of it, left it all on, put it in the quarantine. Coral bounced back, brown jelly disintegrated, gone. Didn't affect any other corals. Coral's actually growing and thriving right now. So it made me wonder what was going on. And I do so. Herb Tana is a great ick treatment. And it's also, I didn't know this. I don't know if maybe I just didn't read the fine print or what. But Herb Tana actually will treat coral bacteria infections. I didn't know that. Now, I did a number of things to treat this. And I will get into that a little bit later. I want to talk first on the alkalinity difference. So, in the tank I was having trouble with brown jelly. My alkalinity was running low constantly. It was running probably about 5 or 6, which is stupid low. Yeah, I know. It's bad. I was waiting on test kits and I had no clue what it was. I didn't think it was that bad. And then, so my quarantine, coral quarantine was running about 8.5. Still a little low, but it's better than 5 or 6. And I really, really think that difference in alkalinity just is so drastic for the corals that it can just, if your alkalinity is that low, it actually makes the skeletons of them soft. So if you feel the skeletons, it's going to feel softer than what it should. It's a skeleton, so it's not going to just crumble. But when your alkalinity is really low like that, it's going to mess stuff up. So I really think alkalinity has a huge, huge part to play in brown jelly. Now, this is just stuff I'm inferring from doing little experiments in my own tanks. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I absolutely am. Because, when it comes down to this, things that work for me might not work for you. Things that work for you might not work for me. It's crazy. I've literally had tanks where I tried the exact same thing that worked on another tank, and it did not work for me. That's what's amazing about this. Different strains of bacteria, this, that, and the other thing. It's just so many different factors. But, so, join me for part 2. I'm going to keep these videos not like 20 minutes long. So join me for part 2. I'm going to get into the what I dosed and what I did. All right, Dave out. I will see you guys for part 2.